most of all, I wanted to be an artist from as early as I can remember. My mom has a titled piece that I did, the first titled piece that I ever did on toilet paper, and it was called Jesus' Bottle. I don't think when I work. That's probably why I like to work so much. I think maybe I go somewhere and I'd be lying if I'd say I'm not thinking. I'm not having thought in the same sense. I'm not like thinking, oh, it's a nice day out. I'm thinking how to make things fit. I'm thinking, how can I make this more challenging? But no, I'm not thinking at all. I don't want to think. This stuff's great. Where do you find all the boxes? Well, I make them. I make all of this stuff. I know a place where the black-eyed Susans grow. It's an easy place to find, and that's where I would go. Well, I suppose he found me first. Found me hunting for flowers. Clipping roses to place in bottles so that they can be in the same place that I am. A train wreck, an old crow. The bottle is half empty and I am half full. Tending the jasmine that grows in my sink and watching the wasps at the window, cracking the glass. The clock strikes twice, eyes like a pair of dice. And then the rain. Please, please let it rain. I don't like the term found object so much because so much of it's sought after and very specific. I can't just add any found thing, stuff I have to search for or think of, or once I've found it, it's become part of my little language. These are starfish. This is a lens from a Nikon camera. And inside there's a twisted piece of electrical wire from the 1920s light fixture. Matches, stamps, bones, photographs, rulers. And these are brushes that I used to the point that I couldn't use them anymore. Sweat, tape measure. This is mica, the mineral. Miscellaneous drifting. This was the cover of a book. These are badger toes, literally. All the objects to me, it creates a depth and a texture that can only be used. Can only be found by using these items. These again are made with the matches, just built up and built up and built up. And then the insides are typewriter keys, rhinestones, coyote teeth, a very pretty lady, more destroyed brushes, some chain, sterling silver, and a real pearl that I found. That's kind of what I fancy my job to be, is to translate or to give you an opportunity to hear what's being spoken that I hear in marbleized paper in the interiors of a clock. If a house can be haunted, why can't everyday objects? I build locks. What I mean is, I fix up old locks from ages ago. I clean them up. I take them apart. I replace the springs. Today I opened a lock, and inside the lock, I found a lady's hat pin from 1865. It's very pretty, and it's got to be very old. I would give it to anyone if only they would talk to me. I keep guessing, I keep opening antique locks, and I find pennies and beads and ghosts. Screws, springs, and rust. Some things are easy to fix. Some things impossible. Somewhere between 10 and 13. I don't really have a strong sense. And I was in the middle of the woods and it was Arctic temperatures. And I was sick, I had scarlet fever. And my parents were out of town. So I went into my father's studio, which was somewhere I wasn't allowed to go. And I went in, I was looking for pot. I was out of my mind with the fever. So I just went in there and I found a lot of mail was signed and addressed to me. Love from your father, Graham. I was pretty amazed, kind of freaked out. And that's how I ended up finding my real father. Survivor's Guild is my graphic novel about surviving Hurricane Katrina, but mostly it's about being displaced to a city like Los Angeles where I was completely lost and unfamiliar with the territory. I drew, and I just drew and drew and drew everything that was in my mind and head to get it out. And eventually it became a story that I thought was worth sharing.